Hello.
Hi, my name is Daniel Costa. I've been going to the Hope Center for about a year now, and I've been saved for about the same amount of time. I haven't always been a Christian. I haven't always believed in God. I haven't always walked in that path. But I remember about in 2005, God met me when I was at the worst part of my life. I was going through a very confusing time. I had just cheated on my girlfriend with a friend of mine, almost got my friend pregnant, and there was a lot of issues going around. I was very clouded. My mind felt very clouded, and I just didn't know. I just a lot of confusion. And I remember asking God, give me the strength to find the answers, because I was cornered. I just asked that simple prayer. And I remember the next morning I woke up and I just felt like the cloud was lifted. My thoughts were clear, and I knew the truth. All I had to do was just speak the truth. It was so simple, but yet I made it so complicated. And so I did. I told the truth. I told my girlfriend the truth. She forgave me. I walked away from that situation, and I felt good. I remember feeling good about it. I remember feeling alive, and I just really felt God's presence upon me, like really strong. And I felt so inspired. I felt really good. It was just all this energy. And during that time, God inspired me to go downtown Toronto. Inspired me to go talk to homeless people in downtown Toronto. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. So I did. So I went downtown Toronto and I started talking to homeless people. The first, now when I got there, I remember specifically this one homeless man. I was walking by him, and he's like, "Oh, you're Portuguese," and I'm like, "Yeah, how did you know that?" Because at the time I had my hair dyed blonde and everything. And so I walked up to him. We started talking and stuff. And he said to me, he's like, "You know what? You got a really good spirit." And I'm like, and I thanked him for that, because I remember it made me feel good inside, especially after all the things that I had done and the way I was feeling at that time. So I felt good. Anyways, I went on my journey, talked to more homeless people, went off, bought a CD. And at the end of the day, I was coming back. I was walking by him again. He's like, "Oh, you forgot something." And I was like, "I forgot something." "Oh, yeah, I was supposed to buy two, and I only bought one CD. So I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. How do you know that?" Right? And he goes, "I got something for you." And I was like, "That's odd. He's got something for me." I'm like, "What's that?" So I walk up to him, and he's sitting on a box, and he opens up, he grabs this orange from inside the box. He goes, "I want you to have this." And I'm like, wait, I can't take this from you. You're homeless. You know what I mean? It's like $1 million to you. And he goes, "No, I want you to have this, but I want you to do me one favor." And I'm like, "Okay, what is it?" He goes, "Do this. And remember my face when you ask him for what you want, and it will be done." So I took the orange, and I remembered his face. I stared at him, and I walked away, and I thanked him. And then about a few hours later, I'd made that prayer. And a week later, after that incident, I remember this kid in Toronto got shot. It was 2005, year of the gun. And I decided, you know what? I want to do something that was not about me. So I decided to give this kid half my paycheck, and I did. So I went into the bank, went to TD Bank, where they were holding the trust fund, walked in, gave him like $240, walked away. And as I was walking away, I was folding up the receipt that they gave me. And I was putting it back in my wallet. And all of a sudden, the $20 bill that I had left for myself just multiplied. It literally just went boof. I was like, what the heck did I just see, right? Like literally, I was shocked. I almost had a heart attack, to be honest with you. Like I was shocked. I was like, what on earth did I just see? And at that moment, God just felt so real to me, because I just saw something that was impossible possible. Like money does not multiply, and it just did in my wallet. And I was just like, wow, there's got to be more to life than this, right? At that moment, I had so much energy. Like my faith was like, if it was at this level, it just went like poof, skyrocketed. So I was fearless, literally. I felt great, amazing. I knew God was real. I had this great inspiration to tell the world how real He was. And then I made one little mistake. I thought, oh, I never used the Bible. I never went to church. I can just find God on my own strength. Maybe all this stuff is just lies anyways. It's just putting God in a box. So I thought, I'll tell the world what God really is. So I went into film. I went through the process, went to the whole film school, got inspired. I was really feeling it. I really enjoy the creative aspect of film. And during that process, though, I started to get confused. My moral compass was all messed up. I didn't know exactly which way to point, what was right, what was wrong. Everything just felt like I didn't know. I couldn't write anything down. I felt guilty about things that I was writing. I was like, this is not really, I don't feel like this is what God wants me to talk about. And I just like, nothing was making sense. And God wasn't saying anything, so I was just confused. I was spiritually messed up. I didn't know who God was. And at the end of film school, I did a feature film with my friends, and after that, it was an action movie. And after that, I said, you know what, God, I'm walking away from what I dream, because I can't do it. I came here to be creative, and I can't be creative, so I can't do this anymore. I'm confused. I don't know what's right. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what you're all about. So I walked away. So I decided to go get a career assessment, look for a different career. And so I go to this person. They had this one program that was like late in October. I was like, I can't do that. So she offered me this other program. It was the Yes program. So I chose that, and 3 months later I got into it. I got a phone call on a Friday night. Oh, someone dropped out. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I go there on Monday. I give them a call, see if the spot was still open. They said yes. I walk in, and I met Mary Lynn at that program. And she was only there because she just wanted to find out another job, like just to see what other jobs she can get. And we got talking and everything. And she said, oh, there's a church across the street. And I'm like, all right, that's interesting. You know what I mean? Like, I was thinking about going back to church for the last 3 months, and there was a Catholic church by my street, near my street. And I kept walking by it, but I was like, I'm not going back to that, right? I ain't going back to that. So I just kept walking by it, didn't want to go back to that. So anyways, when the opportunity came, I'm like, well, it's in a theater. You know, I always wanted to put movies in a theater. Never thought I would find God in a theater, but so I decided to give it a shot. So I go in, and it was Pentecost Sunday, and they're doing all these prayers, and they're denouncing all these different religions. And so I did. I started denouncing, like, you know, New Age, witchcraft, Hinduism, Islam, all this other stuff. And I was just like, and I felt good. I remember feeling good about doing that. And after that, I got prayed upon by Brian and everything, felt the Spirit, felt good. And I kept going back to the Hope Center. I remember just kept getting, you know, I got involved, decided, you know what, God, I wanted to serve God. And some people kept asking, oh, can you volunteer for this? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? You know what I mean? And I started helping out with the equipment in the morning. So I started volunteering, and then it led to like going to the Band of Brothers. I decided, you know what, I went in there, and I remember before I went in, I was asking God, you know, God, give me knowledge, give me a way to learn the Bible really quickly, in a way that I can learn all this stuff, because I need to catch up, I'm so behind. And I remember when I walked into the Band of Brothers, they were doing this whole thing on walking with the Master, and I was just like, oh, okay, walk with Jesus. So I started reading Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So I did that, and while I was doing that, I should have been looking for a job, but I wasn't. I was reading the Bible, and my parents probably wondered, what is he doing? He's going to, you know, I was always telling him, I'm going to, you know, look for a job. Really, I was in the library reading the Bible. And then I remember eventually down the road, an opportunity opened up to volunteer for the Hope Center and to do a media team thing. So they asked me, you know, can you film a Sunday service? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? So I started filming the Sunday services, and then from that, I led to film. From that, a door opened for me to film for Kids Fest, Canada in Prayer, and so yeah, I just kept working within the ministry. Next thing I knew, I was serving God full time. One of the things I learned, and this thing I carry with me, is that when I first came back to, when I was born again, one of the things I realized about the Bible is that it offends you. Right away, it offended me. The righteousness in the Bible, I was like, no way, this can't be right. I don't agree with this. I don't agree with that. But once you start submitting to it, you start to see truths, and that's the thing, right? Like, it will offend your mind, but you got to submit to God and listen to it, because it's almost like your parents. They'll tell you something. They'll tell you not to do something because they know better than you, but yet you'll still ignore it because you think you know better. At the end of the day, let God tell you what is right and wrong. Don't try and tell God what's right and wrong. He knows more than you do. He created you. I don't know where I'm going, but I know that I'm in the right place. You know, I'm following God. I'm serving Him, and I pray that whatever He has set for me in this lifetime, I will accomplish. Whatever mission He put forth, I would walk into it, accomplish it, and that's it. That's my goal. At the end of the day, it's just serve God with all my heart, and just see what happens. See what happens. See where God takes me in the future, and that's it.